against the Wizards point guard. The Hall of Famer said, quote, "I think it's ridiculous that some sports writers criticize him because he has not won a championship. Players don't win championships by themselves. You've got to have good management. You need to get the right group of players." Shannon, does he have a point here?
He does have a point, and I think the thing is that Oscar's speaking from firsthand experience, because Skip, when he's on those Cincinnati teams, what kept happening to him? He kept running into Boston. He kept running into the Sixers. We know what the Boston Celtics had with Russell, Cousy, and the Jones, and all those, Tommy Heinsohn, and then Will had all those.
For our younger players, younger viewers, once upon a time, Cincinnati had a NBA team called the Royals.
The Royals, yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yep.
And so he's speaking from firsthand experience. He's like, I caught a lot of criticism because I couldn't get Cincinnati past the team that had 8, 9 Hall of Famers, and then I couldn't get past a team that had 3 or 4 Hall of Famers, and then who had the greatest player at the time in Wilt Chamberlain.
Yep.
And people criticized me, and I was putting up very similar stats to what Russell is doing, or what Russell Westbrook is doing, Skip. But this is what I believe is in play here. I believe if Russ were to be putting up the numbers that he's putting up and got his team past the first round, I don't believe he would be receiving the criticism. He was going to get some, Skip, because he's a great player, and we expect great players to be able to overcome some things. But, Skip, let's not pretend that Russell Westbrook didn't have Kevin Durant for 8 years. Let's not pretend he didn't play with PG for 2 years. Let's not pretend he didn't have James Harden. And for the most part, he hadn't won a playoff series since KD left. He hasn't gotten out of the first round since KD left. So let's not pretend like Russell Westbrook hadn't played with great players, because he had KD for 8 years. Went to 1 finals, lost a couple of times in their Western Conference Finals. But for me, Skip, is that you got to get past the first round. He took averaged 30 shots a game in the series against Houston. They lost in the first round. Took 39 shots in the Game 5, lost against Utah. He scored 43, but it took him 39 shots. He took 31 shots in Game 5, lost to Portland. Skip, what people, I don't think they criticize Russ. I don't believe Russ always makes the right play in the right moment. Sometimes a lot of times he takes it upon himself. And sometimes it's about making the right play, even if it doesn't involve you scoring the basketball. So for me, should he get criticized? I think all great players are going to get criticized eventually until they actually win the title. Some of the criticism is fair. It is absolutely fair. And when I look at 179 triple-doubles, you're like, well, damn, yeah, he's putting up those triple-doubles, but what is it? Ain't got no titles. And think about it, Skip. It took Oscar. He had to leave, go to Milwaukee, team up with Kareem. That was in his 11th year. His best years was behind him. And you know what Kareem was when Kareem first got. If you want to talk about dominant, you talk about what Shaq and Embiid and all these guys do, go look up Kareem from about 70 until about 79. Look at Kareem's numbers. All he did was win 6 MVPs in that time frame. In about a 10-year time span, he won 6 MVPs. Go look at Kareem. And that's what, and Oscar's saying, yeah, you need management, you need other great players. But Russ is going to get some criticism because he is a great player, and he hasn't gotten basically past the first round since KD left.
Okay. I have nothing but the utmost respect for the great Oscar Robertson.
And we talk about point guard, we don't never mention Oscar.
Yeah, because he's kind of a point forward. He's kind of somewhere in between at about 6'5", but he was, for his era, he was a forward.
With a big body.
Big body. Strong, played strong, did it all.
He did.
I'm going to say it one more time about Russell Westbrook. Scotty Brooks, his coach, said the other day that he's now the second best point guard in Scott Brooks' eyes in the history of the game to Magic. And that puts him above Stockton or whoever else, or Jason Kidd or Steve Nash. Isaiah, you can throw them all up in there. I'll go one step farther. Russell Westbrook is simply the most explosive box score point guard we have ever seen. Nobody on all 3 levels can detonate a box score the way this man can.
Only Will could, Skip. Nobody at that size.
I'm talking about point guard.
At his size, nobody can touch him.
He can get you 40 points. He can get you
20 rebounds.
At least 25 rebounds. And he can get you 25 assists on any given night. Never seen anything like this before. He is averaging the 4th most minutes in the league. he is an all-time warrior and gamer. He will fight you to the death.
Yes.
And he fought Milwaukee at Milwaukee last night to the death.
He almost did it.
He almost pulled it off. And just in the biggest picture, he's going to average, once again, a triple-double for the season.
Yes.
He's going to do it again. That's the 4th time in 5 years.
Yes.
He sacrificed for James last year in Houston, so that's the one time in the last 5 he didn't do this. He is going to lead the league in assists. That would be for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. That's pretty special, right?
And hell, he's going to be top 5 in rebounding for a guard.
Top 5 in rebounds. And obviously, he's 2 triple-doubles away from tying Oscar and 3 away from breaking. And I'm pretty sure he's going to get it this year. You just know, and I know he's going to get it. Okay, now for the downside. When we talked about this the other day, I said, I'll give you the box score player, but if I got one game for my life, I don't want Russ as my point guard.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't.
I agree with that.
He wouldn't even be in my top 20, one game for my life.
Right.
I don't want to be too harsh with this, but to me, in the end, the best way I can explain it is he's not a winning basketball player. He's not a natural gifted passer of the basketball. He's bull in China shop. He does it by force and by absolute. He wills assists, but they're not smooth and easy and natural, and they don't always contribute to the bottom line, which is up on the scoreboard. So I'm going to remind everybody, he's leading the league in assists. He's also running away with the turnovers in this league. And you can always say, if you got the ball in your hands. Okay, but he's only 8th in usage rate. So that's not, he's not first or second. But he is number 1 by far. He's now 30 turnovers ahead of your man Luka in Dallas. 30. He's 287 to 257. So I admire the warrior in him, but sometimes it's for the wrong reasons, where he's a stat monster in his head. I gotta. And in the end, there are plays that need to get made, and I'm about to show you a couple of them, that he doesn't routinely make. And I'm going to let's keep it real here. He is this year, a 31% three-point shooter. So he's a liability from there. Last year in Houston, he was 26%, so he's up a little bit from that. This year, he's making 64% of his free throws. Well, we used to talk about Lonzo being a 50% free throw shooter. As a point guard, especially at this level that Russell's playing at, you got to be better than 64. You got to be 90. That's what you got to do for a living,
especially as many times he's getting to the basket, because he's going to the basket. He's going to get to the basket, and you know and I know he's going to get fouled. So what I admire about him is, he said the other day, he just casually mentioned, he said he played through a torn quad early this year. And they fell to 17 and 32 on April 5th, and they've been on a pretty good tear. They're 13 and 4, and they almost pulled that game out last night, but that's since April 5th. So they're now in the 10 seed, the 10 spot, which is barely in the play-in, but they're going to make it. They're going to, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I couldn't stop watching the game last night, because you want to talk about must-see TV. Oh, they're going to scare somebody. Because Bradley Beal can drop 40 on you. Russ can go get you 30 with 20-20. So they're going to scare the hell out of somebody.
So Russ plays just about the whole 4th quarter. And guess what he does last night at Milwaukee? I got Giannis in the 4th quarter. And if we could see what he pulled off on Giannis, this was later in the game.
What, he got a 6th foul on him?
Yeah, he got, I don't think it was a 6th foul, was it? It might have been.
When Giannis tried to post him?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay. Yeah, this is it, right?
Yeah, look, this is Russell guarding him. And he got the call.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he said, I got him. Well, what's Giannis, 6'11"?
Yes.
And Russ is 6'3". And he's saying, I got him. And he was pretty good on him the whole 4th quarter. He bothered him the whole 4th quarter.
That was a 6th foul. They fouled him out.
Okay. So now we get to the 2 other plays that caught my eye and stuck in my craw. With 4:27 left, the score is tied, and if we could see what Russell does, this is the kind of play this is not a winning play. You just can't do that. You got a chance to take the lead, and you do that. It's out of control basketball.
Looked like he got caught in between. I was going to cross him.
He did, but you can't do it. If you're going to win the game at Milwaukee, you can't give them the ball like that. You can't allow a whole possession to be lost that quickly. Okay, and then he has a shot from 8 feet away in the lane, and this is for the lead. This is 2:57 left in the game. 2:37, I'm sorry. 2:37, and here's his shot. Huh? What was that? Okay, and too often he'll take those kind of shots, and it's a forced shot, and I don't think anybody touched the ball. I think he got caught, and he was kind of up in the air, and he wasn't sure whether he should even shoot it or not, and he left it